it willingly, because it's a form of advertisement, So, but instead of individual approaching MTN and others, I think institutions could do it on their own. And I'm so sure that most of these companies will play ball.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Just before we close, I'm seeing that we still have one or two critical questions here. Okay, someone privately sent me a message to say that we should, that I think there's a need for the stakeholders in teacher development to participate in this conference or have representatives in this conference so that they can think through some of the suggestions and outcomes of the conference. I'm suggesting Nigeria Education Research and Development Council, National Teachers Institute, National Council for Colleges of Education, as well as the National University Council. Issues of blended learning can be effectively handled if they are carried along. I want to assure you that the outcomes of this conference and webinars are going to be shared with the appropriate authorities, especially those that you have listed here, including the National Universities Commission. Thank you very much for that comment. Prof. Adeomi again from UNAB, he said that they have seen different learning highly successful for science-based courses in some countries like Israel, South Africa, and the US, to mention a few, and you do not doubt for Nigeria. You only want to ascertain the case for Nigeria from the experience of the presenter, and that you are happy to hear that the case of agriculture in Nigeria is being tried, but you want the presenter to give further detail in the case of UI experience in teaching agri practical online. Then there's another person who says, I must confess that this summit has added much to me. However, morale is an integral part of formal education. What is the place of morale, teaching, and discipline with conventional classes in this era of new normal, since they are more effective only in normal classes? Those are the two critical questions that were not shared to everyone that I think it's good for Prof to attempt to respond to. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the first question is on Greek, if I'm right. Yeah, you see, I'm not happy to inform that eventually we had to discontinue Greek because of the fact that it was not becoming economically viable. Of course, economic viability is not a criterion for course offerings, but we don't necessarily have to continue to rob Peter to pay Paul, and you find out that number of students opting for Greek is not, in the regular mode, is not even so encouraging these days. I don't know what is happening in the past 2 years or so. So we have to continue to discontinue at a point, not because of the fact that we're having problems in the platform. The practical was going on very well, so we had no problem. But at a point, we found out that I think we got 8 departments. 8 departments with almost, at that time, almost 1/3 of all courses that we're offering distance learning. And then you have even 2 students offering a course. You have to have course material. And you are paying the author of the course material 300,000 naira, So when do you now even recoup the money for the author of the course material, to talk of whatever? And that was why we had to discontinue it. In fact, it almost died naturally because there was no incentive somehow to the lecturers, given number of classes. You can't compare with economics where you have over 2,000 students, but you're having some classes with a limited number of students. So, but we had a successful practical in our grade. I can say that much. So there's no problem with that. Then the other one is with the morale of distance learning students. I want to believe that whether they are on the regular mode or distance learning mode, I think they are in the same kettle at this time. Because, in fact, in some cases, one can even say that some distance learning students, I say if you're in open university or whatever, they are even better off because I think they are writing exams. They're even writing exams, even at this time. So some of them are even better off than students on the regular mode. So, but for now, they are on the same level. So the one is not actually better than the other. That's what I can say as on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you. We appreciate you, sir. And I think the comments are very well addressed at this point. I just want to know if there's still any question that have not been addressed, but I think most of them have been addressed. I want to sincerely appreciate our own presenter for tonight and her professor from the University of Ibadan. Thank you so much for everything that you have taught us today. It will remain indelible in our heart, Professor Kwade. I want to assure you that the team in Africa Young Brains will continue to link up with you and your colleagues. I want to appreciate all the other professors in the house, Professor Hamad from the University of Ibadan, Professor Babatunde from University of University of Agriculture in Abeokuta. All of you that have chosen to participate and be part of what we are doing, we really, really appreciate you. And I note that Professor Olayinka has been very, very attentive in all of this. And as the father in the house, the VC for our university, I would like him to say one or two words to us so that we can also tap to his wisdom tonight. Prof, please, if you don't mind. Professor Olayinka.
Okay, thank you, the moderator. I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you clearly, sir.
Well, I congratulate Professor Okwade for the very brilliant paper that he has delivered to us this evening, all the way from the United Kingdom, where he's been locked down. And I think the presentation has been quite lucid. And the point has been made that this blended learning, which is the central theme of his presentation, is not completely new. But that we have the face-to-face, which is the conventional, then you now leverage on e-learning or online education. Then you can have the blended learning in between. And in spite of all the challenges that we have in this part of the world, I mean, like Professor Kwade also mentioned, those of us that are in the third world, like in Nigeria. But I must confess that about 20 years ago, when I used to go to London, most of the hotel I was staying that time, they didn't have internet facility. I used to come to South Kensington with one what do you call it now, like a business center I mean, it was relatively cheap. But now things are changing. 20 years ago in London, you see everybody carrying a London A to Z for its location. But now everybody carries a cell phone, just like even in Nigeria. People also use, if you want to go from here to Lagos, you can estimate how long it's going to take you. So at times when I look at it, it's like we are not too far behind. Because even in UK, just like Professor Kwande also alluded to, in UK, US, they still have challenges. In many homes in the US, their kids don't also have 24 hours internet access. Especially maybe we always have the poor with us. Maybe in our own case, the problem is that the proportion of the people who are living below poverty level is, I mean, unacceptably high. And we don't have a social, I mean, the social facilities provided by government, they are few and far between. So because at times I comfort myself that we are not too far behind. I mean, like the modem I've been using for the past 2 hours has been quite stable. But I must say that, I must confess that at times it malfunctions. I think yesterday also we were listening to a lecture being given by Baba Obasanjo. During the question and answer session, my modem just malfunctioned. But I mean, the thing is that we have to be optimistic. And the government also has a role to play, a central role to play. I mean, because it's not good to have a society where there's too much inequality that only the few that can afford. As much as possible, the generality of our people, like Professor Kwande again alluded to, the students, they should be able to have access to this. I mean, in terms of their career development. I mean, the reality is that they are more internet savvy than those of us that were born before the advent of computer. But at least we are also signing in. So I think it's it's an eye-opener. And I mean, the point has been made, what is the quality of distance learning vis-a-vis the face-to-face? I mean, like Professor Kwande also is very familiar with, at least at University of Ibadan, we subscribe to the tenet of parity of esteem, because the admission requirements are the same, the facilitators are the same, and it takes, maybe it takes a longer time for those who are doing distance learning. And we also have observed that the demography has changed. Before it used to be for people working full-time, then they come and learn in the evenings and all that, but now many of them cannot get it through JAMB because of the problem with access. So we find 17, 18-year-olds now going to enroll for distance learning. So they also tend to be focused. And at the University of Ibadan, I think we have maybe about 3-4 of our colleagues who went through distance learning, but today they are PhD holders. They are even lecturers at the University of Ibadan. If they were not good enough, the University of Ibadan wouldn't have felt confident to engage them. Again, there will always be challenges, but I think a problem well stated is absorbed. It's just for us to look at what are the challenges and what is the most optimal way towards tackling all this. And one other point that Professor Gwade mentioned in passing, I mean, he left as a director of a distance learning maybe about 3 years ago. And he said, because we also think if you are teaching English and in the same curriculum for both the regular students, and you're also teaching that same course with the distance learning, can we not use some of their materials for the regular students? And during this lockdown, we've had to upload some of the distance learning courses, the course materials for our new students. So it's on our website, and we are still developing the learning management system that the regular student can also go and have access to them. So that shouldn't be a very strong dividing lines between the face-to-face and the distance, and it's just the mode of instruction, and if it's blended. So, I mean, Professor Kwande also alluded to whether it's between 30% and 70% that is online. So I'm sure we get there, because if you look at, I mean, barely 20 years ago, we had less than 500,000 Nitel fixed lines. But now maybe we are dealing with 150 million mobile telephone lines.
Users.
Within a generation. So as if you now extrapolate to the next 10 years, 20 years. I mean, we are looking at Professor Kwande now. I mean, it's in London, and I'm in UI. As a native of UI, I'm in UI. It's in London. So I won't feel so excited. It could have as well been in New York or in Jamaica or in Australia. It's the same technology. I mean, we still have issues, power outage. Maybe they don't have a power outage in the UK. In fact, anytime I go abroad and I tell my colleagues that his life is so boring without power outage, without talking about it. So I thank him so much, and it has been a great afternoon for me, or early evening, to participate in this.
Thank you very much, sir.
Our
own leisure time, we can go through the slide. Thank you, sir. Moderator.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm grateful, sir. And I want to remind everyone that is on this meeting that tomorrow's presentation is at 10 a.m. in the morning. Please don't miss it for anything. Don't miss it for anything, I beg you, if you have to, put on your alert now, please try to make sure that you are on that call. We have 2 fantastic presentations tomorrow morning and tomorrow in the afternoon. That session is very important. Don't miss it for anything. On this note, I want to pass the baton back to Femi, who is the convener of this meeting. I want to congratulate him.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, we can.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very, very grateful.
Making for him to have vice chancellors and professors all leaving everything they are doing to volunteer to train the young Africans and improve their skills in the areas that are important at this point is something that one cannot quantify in monetary terms. And I want to thank all of you that are beneficiaries of this meeting. Don't take it for granted that because it has been provided free, a lot of intellectual cost has gone into this. And please, let's only do one thing: invite other people to be part of it. Africa will not grow until we are all better informed than we are now. Femi, over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very grateful. Professor Bayo, I don't know, you understand better than me. God has been so faithful that you are able to make this presentation. I'm very, very grateful for your support, for your encouragement. Despite challenges, both of us will know that if not God, you won't be able to make this presentation. I also want to thank my professor and the Vice Chancellor, University of Ibadan. Your support has been uncommon. I appreciate you, and I pray that greater things ahead of you, I'm sure. And we need people like you also to push for education in Africa, not just in Nigeria. And I thank so much Professor Adeni Olayanju, Professor Adewumi, all our mentors, and then our team also on ground, the technical team, the secretariat has been fantastic, the media, and I know very well that we are going places. So everyone, if I have not mentioned your name, I appreciate you, and I'm appealing to you, help us share the flyers and the link. The same link we use today is what we are going to use tomorrow and the evening tomorrow. Please let us mobilize people to be part of this summit. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'm also thanking my mentor, Sasoji Adeni. You know, we are all together. Thank you. I appreciate you, and God bless you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
God bless you, sir. God bless you all. Thank you, professors. God bless you all. We appreciate the lectures. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
My VC, Professor Yinkasa, I think this is another way of
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Distant learning education in
Professor, thank you.
Professor Lenka,
Yeah,
it's nice to be in this forum with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
my Vice Chancellor, good afternoon.
Thank you so much
well done,
for being
sir.
in this forum. Thank you, sir.
Well done.
We are live on YouTube. You can check African Young Brain. African Young Brain on YouTube.
Who is giving the lecture tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning is Professor Adeni.
Okay.
It's Professor Afolayan, Professor Afolayan, Professor Joseph Afolayan, Vice Chancellor, Anchor University.
Okay, at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, by 10 o'clock. We are inviting everybody. Let us
we'll try to be with you.
Yes.
I'm inviting my friends.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Grateful, sir.
Thank you. We enjoy every moment of having you guys around. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate everything.
Thank you. Those of you that you joined from far and near, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the time, sir.
Yes.
And thanks to the professor.
Thank you.
Thank you for the teaching, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you for everything.